Yeah, guess what? Oh.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Alright, so today's video is a little bit of a creepy one. I don't actually know if it's going to be creepy for you as the viewer, but it's creepy for me to kind of rethink this and relive it a little bit while I tell you guys the story. If you guys haven't already seen the last video where I talked about the house that I was living in being haunted, not sure if the house was haunted or if I was haunted. Honestly, don't know. But I guess we'll kind of get into that as we go through this series, I guess. But if you haven't seen that video, I'll put a card up here or here. I don't know where the card's gonna sit. It's gonna be somewhere. Click it. Or in the description down below. So, lucid dreaming. For anyone who doesn't know what it is, I actually looked at the definition and wrote it down for you guys. So, lucid dreaming is a dream during which the dreamer is aware that they are dreaming. Seems like a lot of the same thing. Basically, what it means is you are totally conscious and aware of your dreams. You can control your dreams, and that's kind of the whole purpose of people trying to lucid dream, is they want to control their dreams. This does not necessarily mean like astral projection or anything like that. That's a different thing. I've never done that, never tried to do that, never want to try to do that. That's a lot. So, especially not after what happened to me after I tried to lucid dream. So, just not gonna mess with the whole thing of sleep and dreaming. Just not doing it. Just not messing with it. Just don't mess with things that you shouldn't mess with. Things that you don't know about. Things that you don't really know about. Things you think you know about, but you don't really. Don't mess with it. Okay. PSA over. So, like I said, guys, it's super dumb. Please don't do it. Just don't. I don't care how much research you do. Just don't do it. It's just not worth it. You don't know what you're opening yourself up to. I didn't know what I was opening myself up to, but something tells me it was more than sleep paralysis that I experienced, and more than sleep paralysis that I experienced thereafter. I feel like sleep is such a vulnerable state for a soul to be in. So, I was about 16 or 17 when I actually tried lucid dreaming. I did this, it was a video on YouTube that you had to follow, and you just had to listen to this guy telling you exactly what you needed to do to get yourself into a state where you would be able and capable to lucid dream. I just laid on my bed. I lived in Lakeland with my sister, and no one else was home. Literally just laid back on my bed and attempted this. I thought it didn't work, but something just kind of felt weird in the whole, there was a shift in energy in my sister's apartment after I did this. So this is also around the time that Slender Man was really big, and I was obsessed with Slender Man. And this is when I discovered PewDiePie and all of that, and I would just obsess and watch all of these creepy video games and creepy videos like Everyman Hybrid, and there's another series that I forgot about that kind of made these story faux reality stories, horror stories surrounding Slender Man. And I'm not saying Slender Man's a real thing, because he's not. He was made up. But I still feel like when you can open your soul and your energy and your heart up to these really creepy things, you're a little more susceptible to creepy things actually happening to you that you can't explain. And that just kind of make you just look like you're cuckoo. After I did this, I just slowly started noticing very poltergeisty things. I would put, I don't know, my bottle of foundation on the bathroom counter, and it would be in my bedroom. And no one really, my sister didn't go in my room or my bathroom. The way that the apartment was set up, when you walked in, to the right there was this hallway that had a door, and that was my hallway. At the end of the hallway was my bathroom door, and then to the right of that door was my bedroom door. But there was literally a whole door separating that entire section of the apartment. It wasn't huge or anything. It was just, there was a door, which I thought was kind of interesting, but whatever. So no one ever went in there. My sister's boyfriend never went in there. It was rare. He never really walked back there. He would call me from the living room So I just thought it was super, super weird that my stuff was getting moved around, but I never really talked about it, like with my sister or anything, because I didn't want to like freak her out. Or honestly, I don't think it would have freaked her. I think she just would have been like, you probably moved it and didn't like realize it. So I just never really talked about it. But that just kind of continued. Very like stupid things, like nothing like I saw someone at the end of my bed or something in my window, or I would always like hear things if I was in the apartment by myself. I didn't really like to be in the open area of the apartment. My sister never really furnished it much. She had like a couch and a TV, and that was pretty much it. Like for the living room, we didn't have like a dining table or anything, which was fine. I usually would just like take my laptop and lay out on the floor in the dining room, because it was a small apartment, nothing like crazy. But I never really liked to be there as the sun went down, and right behind her apartment were these like really vast like woods, and next to that was this old abandoned, it looked like a huge like cathedral almost. I think it was a church. I actually don't remember, but I remember like always thinking it was super creepy when we would drive home at night, because it looked so looming and just flippin' creepy. But the most that ever really happened there was, you know, the hearing things every once in a while, and sometimes like if she wasn't home or her boyfriend wasn't home, because he would travel to go for work and stuff, I would always like go to the front door, because I would swear that I would hear running back and forth outside, because it wasn't like an indoor apartment or anything where they had like hallways and stuff. It was like when I opened the front door, it was like outside, and you would just like, there was like the walkway to other apartments, and then railing, and then the steps to go down and up or whatever. So we were on like the second or third floor. I actually don't remember now. Second or third floor. And I would always hear something there. Don't know what it was. And I mean, a lot of this took place when I was by myself. So part of me just started to wonder if I was creating these things like in my head. But the reason that I'm talking about them is because they all happened after I attempted to lucid dream. After I attempted multiple times to lucid dream and just never really thought it was working. But the more that I was trying to do it, the more things would happen around the apartment, around my bedroom, my bathroom, and that I would hear things. I never really saw anything. I would sometimes feel like there was, like if I had my back to the rest of like the house, like if I was standing in the kitchen and I was cooking at the stove or something, and like my back is just to nothing, I would feel like someone's there. And like, I know that the apartment's empty. I know I'm the only one there, and it's not a huge apartment, so I shouldn't feel like there's just such an empty space here, but it would feel so, like, it would just feel really, really creepy and weird, and I never really understood it. But after we moved out of that apartment and moved to a different apartment, it still didn't stop. So it wasn't that I necessarily was just like, I'm just gonna slowly like wean off of the lucid dreaming. I just, at that point, decided, hey, it's not working, I'm not going to do it anymore. And it was like slowly things stopped happening. Things wouldn't get moved as much, or really at all, and slowly it just stopped completely. But the reason that this has a connection to when a few years later, or a couple of years later, when I lived in St. Pete, is things got really, really heavy at that house. And I feel like that should be its own video, like the rest of the things that happened, or a few of more things that happened. But things just got really, really heavy at that house after my mom left. And again, like, I want to just believe that this was like me and my mind creating creepy things, because I was by myself and I watch a lot of like horror things. But at the same time, I'm wondering if it's like this thing got me alone again and was like, mess with you now. you're by yourself again, I can mess with you. Because at the apartment that we moved to after, we'll call like that first apartment like the white apartment, we moved to the brown apartment because like the building was white. And the second apartment, the building was brown. But when we moved to the brown apartment, like I was rarely ever home alone unless both of my sisters were working, because my other sister moved in after my sister's boyfriend moved out. And then my mom was there, so I wasn't really ever alone nearly as long. And I think it was about the same square footage and honestly not that different of a layout. But something about that apartment just didn't feel as vast and empty and vacant as the white apartment. So I wonder if all of those things just played a part. And as I like tell this story, the more I remember and the more I realize how freaking creepy all of it actually was. But I wanted to talk about a couple of the things that had happened that I never really talked about. And to me personally, I watch so much horror and it's like all they do is talk about these things and it never really helps. So I kind of just wonder if I just told myself, well, if I don't talk about it, then it's not happening. But I would listen to like creepy stories all the time. So I like at the same time, I wonder if like it was just my head. I don't know. I thought when I started to realize like when I actually was attempting to lucid dream, then it was like, dude, what if I did something to make all that stuff happen? I will probably never attempt to lucid dream again. Just because knowing what I know now about sleep paralysis and lucid dreaming and just also about like the paranormal, it's just not something I want to mess with. Because there's just some things you just shouldn't do. Honestly, like just some things you just should not do. And I feel like lucid dreaming is one of them. I have a lot to tell when it comes to all of those things that happened at the house in St. Pete. I've kind of told everything that there is to say about both of those apartments. There was one other house that we lived in, but nothing ever really happened there. But again, I was never really there alone. So, wonder if that played a part. But when I got to St. Pete and I was actually by myself, for the few months that I was living there, like 4 or 5 months. Yeah, 5 months. Things just got really, really weird. And it was after the sleep paralysis. Things just got weirder after that. I hope you guys enjoyed this video for what it was, which was really just sort of like a little more history into what could have opened me and like my energies to sleep paralysis, because I don't feel like sleep paralysis is always just sleep paralysis. I feel like it can happen if you've messed with the wrong thing, done the wrong thing, or just done something the wrong way and not known it. So if you're thinking about lucid dreaming or attempting to lucid dream, just don't mess with things that you don't know too much about or think you know about because you did your research onto Google, and Google isn't always right. So yeah, there's that, guys. But I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope this was entertaining at some point for you guys. And I hope you guys want to hear more about these stories, because they're there and I feel like I just want them out of my memory. I feel like if I talk about it, it'll make me feel better. A little bit therapeutic to kind of just let it go and get it out of there. Get it like out of my headspace, and so yeah. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Give this video a like if you did, and subscribe, hit the bell, get the notifications, whatever you want to do. Follow me on my social medias. Everything is linked down below. If you have any questions about whatever I am wearing, it is linked down below. And if you have any video suggestions, please don't feel too shy to message me wherever you feel like you need to. Thank you guys again, and I will see you in the next video.